Welcome to Bigger Than You, the podcast to help you go from overwhelm, self-doubt and scarcity in your business to the calm, grounded and unshakably confident version of you that's going to bring your vision to life. You've got a mission and a purpose that's bigger than you and your limiting stories and beliefs. So let's get you out of your own way. I'm Jenna Holloway, your host and multi-award-winning intuitive hypnotherapist and mindset coach. Expect to hear game-changing perspective shifts on how to align your subconscious mind with your boldest goals, and will unlock the power of energetics, infusing it into every aspect of your life and business for maximum impact. Are you ready? Then let's dive in. Hello, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm very excited for the conversation that we are going to be having today. It's been a while. I've been meaning to do this episode for a while, and yeah, let's just dive in, shall we? I'm going to be talking about client journey, like the importance of an effective client journey, so that you can move people from cold to sold very quickly, right? There's no point growing your audience and putting a lot of effort into that if what you've got in your ecosystem doesn't move people down the buyer journey fast, right? People don't need to hang out on social media, like watching you and, being warmed up. They just don't need to do that for months on end. So what I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode is going to be implementable. Is that a word? Like you're literally going, I would take notes if I were you. You're going to be able to implement what I say and what I share with you, and make a big difference in your business and your timeline to conversion, right? So let's go in. Let's get going, shall we? Yes. Okay, so messaging obviously is like so important. Okay, you don't need to be growing your audience if you're not already converting the audience that you have. So the mindset on the audience that you have, regardless of like where your mindset is right now, if you feel like you don't have engaged buyers or empowered buyers in your audience, that's a misguided thought, like completely misguided. So all we need to do is we need to start speaking in a way that resonates with the people who are ready to buy now in your audience. Okay, they are there. We just need to work on the messaging so that it actually speaks to them. I talk about, like, imagine you are broadcasting on a radio channel and you're there like producing your content on a daily basis, and you're broadcasting on let's say you've got 6 channels in your radio channels in your car. You're broadcasting on channel 1, but the problem is you're broadcasting to a bunch of people who are nowhere near ready to buy yet, because the things that you are saying is speaking to them, but they're not at the position where they're ready to buy. So your content is resonating with the wrong person. And so if you're broadcasting on channel 1, where your empowered buyers are on channel 6, like, it's gonna feel like you don't have any empowered buyers in your community, right? Because they're literally not hearing you. Your choice of words are not resonating with them. So that, like, the messaging piece is so important, so that you actually, like, the things that you say land with your dream clients. And your dream client, by the way, is not just somebody who is looking for what you do. It's somebody who is aware of the problem, right? So you don't need to educate them at all. They're already problem aware, and they are actively looking for the solution right now, as in they're ready to buy, and they are happy to pay the price that you're excited to serve at. Okay, so when you speak to that version of your dream client, you can speed up conversion so much faster. Okay, and you'll stop hearing things like, oh, let me think about it. You'll start hearing things like, great, when can I join? So it makes a difference. It makes a massive difference getting your messaging right. And if, by the way, you haven't watched my masterclass called The One, this is a free masterclass all about messaging and potency and the exact tweaks to make in your content so that it stops speaking to the people who aren't ready to buy or the misaligned clients, and it actually starts resonating and speaking to those ready to buy now clients in your audience, so that you can make sales today, right? It's talking about generating demand from the audience that you already have, even if that is tiny. So it will raise your ability to convert without needing to go out and find new people. We've got to be able to convert the people that we already have. So if you haven't watched that, I would recommend watching that. It will be a game changer in terms of the perspective shifts that you have. I'll leave a link for it in the show notes. And if you're watching this on Instagram, you can just find it via the link in my bio, or DM me masterclass. Okay, so the messaging piece is literally only one part of the puzzle. Okay, so it's a hugely important piece, obviously, because we want to be speaking to our dream client. But if you're nailing your messaging, but you don't have your client journey sorted out, you're still going to experience a much slower conversion rate than you could be experiencing. Okay. And this is really, really important because it's 2024. The market has shifted a lot in the last few years, and people need so much more than just your content in order to feel certain in you and to have that trust to part with their money, right? People are way more cautious nowadays with who they're deciding to invest and how they're choosing to spend their money. Yeah, there's a lot of shady shit in the industry. People have been burned, and it is what it is, and that's okay, right? It's absolutely fine when you know exactly what to do to help people make that decision faster. So yeah, prerequisite for everything that I'm about to move on to in terms of client journey, prerequisite for that to work is that your messaging lands, right? So it's more than just messaging, it's messaging plus effective client journey. Okay. So yeah, make sure you've watched the masterclass and then come back and listen to what I'm about to say here. So just relying on your content is like, imagine you've decided to host a fancy dinner party and you've gone to the supermarket, you've picked up all your ingredients, you've got the recipe that you want to cook, you've literally put out all the ingredients ready to cook, and then that's it. It literally doesn't go any further because you've not done the key piece, and that is sending the invites. So you're in the kitchen, you've got your little chef's apron on, you're cooking a wonderful meal and no one's rocking up. That's as far as it goes. Okay. Like having the ingredients, putting your chef apron on, like, and that's all key, right? But unless you send out the invites, people aren't going to rock up. The client journey is that warm invitation, right? So let's talk about it, because if we do not have an effective client journey, a system, a process that warms people up from feeling like just a number in your community, an outsider, to feeling like they've got the right amount of trust and certainty in you to be ready to invest, that's really, really key, right? Sales is a transference of certainty. So you need your people to feel certain in you, obviously, certain in your offer and your offer's ability to get the desired transformation that they want, and also certainty in themselves, right? Because, and this is the piece that most people are missing, they can see that your results are amazing and they can see that you're great at what you do. But if they don't like have that trust in their ability to get the result, then they're going to stay watching and not moving. And how you increase that trust and that certainty is through your effective client journey. Okay. So we make all of our decisions unconsciously. Well, not all of them, most of them. Okay. And so relationship and building intimacy is crucial when it comes to getting fully booked faster. So imagine it like this, right? You imagine yourself as the buyer right now, and you've got somebody in mind that you know you're an ideal client for, and you watch their content, right? You enjoy their content. You watch their stories, you watch their reels, you open their emails. You know that the messaging is great because it's speaking to you. But for some reason, you're not moving. Okay, it's like this. Imagine there's a house party on your street. It looks so fun. You really want to be there. Like the music, oh, it's just exactly the right vibe. Music, people, everything. It looks amazing. You're on the outside and you really, really want to go, but you're not going to go. Like you are absolutely not going to walk into that house party unless you've been invited. And it's literally the same vibe with people consuming your content. If the trust hasn't been built, they will feel like an outsider. Okay. There's more than just chatting in the DMs. It is more than getting them to opt into your lead magnet. It's more than showing up consistently. So much more, right? It's about touch points. And the more touch points you have, the better. Okay. So I'll share with you what my touch points are, and you'll understand what I mean by taking somebody from cold to sold into your highest offer in days. So when somebody follows me on Instagram, I personally reach out and I let them know that I have a masterclass. And do they want to watch it? Right? Yes, this is set up in my highlights, but I'm not going to rely on the fact that somebody's going to click on that and take action. They might click on the highlights and see it, but again, at this point, they're an outsider, right? They're invisible. Well, they don't feel compelled to take any action because there's literally no connection. So even if you've got your highlights set up perfectly, your conversion rate to getting people into your lead magnet, by the way, your lead magnet needs to be shit hot. It needs to speak to their number one desire if it's going to be effective, right? There's a lot of lead magnets that just aren't effective. Well, that's by the by. So yeah, I personally voice note a new follower when they follow me. And I make sure that I'm in a good energy to do this, right? I'm not in a race to do it as soon as I get a new follower. Like, I have to be in the right energy to feel excited to send this, because again, most decisions are being made unconsciously. So the vibe needs to be warm, like personable. And there's literally 0 point in sending a voice note if it feels like, if you're doing it from a tick box energy, they will 100% feel that. So I don't rush to do this. I wait, like, and it doesn't matter if it's been like 5 days. I wait until I'm in that, yeah, I really want to connect with, my new followers, and I'm really excited to share my masterclass. So I do that. I personally voice note them, and I use the same language as I would use in my content to position it as something that they would definitely be interested in. Yeah, like, it's a big ask for somebody to be like, oh, do you want to watch my masterclass? Like, they're probably going to be like, no, I'm a bit busy at the moment. But if you position it to like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I need right now. If you position it with your words in that way, then of course you're going to have a much higher conversion of people saying, yeah, absolutely. Like, give me more information, please. But it's very detached, right? That's literally the first entry point into my world. So I send that voice note from a very detached, like, no worries if not kind of vibes. Okay. Yeah, the energetics of things is super important, but I'm not going to go into that now. Okay, so when somebody opts in to watching the masterclass, then obviously they are on my mailing list. So that's a touch point. They are inside my free Facebook group because that's where I hold the masterclass. And then they're obviously on my socials. And when they join the Facebook group, I just had a panic that I'm not recording. Yes, phew. When they join the free Facebook group, they get asked, like, as one of the questions, they get asked, would you like a no strings attached free session with me? And this I call a roadmap to 6 figures strategy session. It is purely valuable, right? It is me putting my time, my skin in the game to give them a massive transformation before they've even decided to, like, pay me a penny. So in that session, I will look at their business from a bird's eye view with their goals in mind, the goals that they tell me that they have. And I will spot the bottlenecks, okay? Whether that is a strategic piece, a messaging piece, or a mindset piece, anything, right? And I'll spot that very quickly. And I will, like, share the steps that they need to take to hit their goals faster. And I don't hold back. Like, I literally, in these sessions, I treat these conversations as if I am on I have a one-to-one client in front of me. I don't hold back. Because the point of this is for them to build trust in me fast, right? And I get messages all the time like, that blew my mind, or like, I can't believe how much value I got in like just 15 minutes, whatever. And that is very strategic. It's intentional. I want them to feel that way, because very, very often these calls lead directly to a consult call. So you can see now how someone can land in my world, as in like follow me on Instagram and be joining my one-to-one coaching or my Powerhouse Portal mastermind within days. Yeah. So your effective client journey is like, if you haven't got one sorted right now that takes people who are brand new to your world and warms them up very quickly and in a way that is intimate, right? Not just treating somebody like a number, but personable, so that they get that experience of having had a massive transformation with you without any questions asked, right? This whole thing that I'm talking about is very detached, very neutral. I want to serve. And so I serve knowing that people will have a great experience and naturally want more. Okay. And it feels good. It feels so, so good. Because I've worked on my messaging, I only attract the people that are the empowered buyers in the first place, right? The people who are problem aware, know they want the solution that I provide. It means that none of this is draining. Everything feels really, really good about it, because I know I'm speaking directly to my best fit client and I'm building that trust and that intimacy fast. Okay. So yeah, that's how you build an effective client journey. And there are multiple ways of doing it. Conversion event absolutely has to be in there and somewhere along that. It's the fastest way, when done well, obviously. It's the fastest way to warm people up and get them to see that where they are at point A is like, and how you take them to point B, and do that from a place of like, they get a massive transformation and they really want to work with you. Right? It has to be done well though. You don't want to over deliver and then people are like, oh great, I just want to go away and implement this and I'll be back for more, and then they never show up. Right? Got to be able to do conversion events well. But when you do them well, it's an extremely effective part of your client journey. And this is exactly what we do inside Powerhouse Portal, the mastermind, right? We work on the messaging and the copy to position you as the number one choice for your best fit client, so that they feel that, right? They feel that everything that you put out to them, everything that you say, they know you're speaking to them. And inside Powerhouse Portal, all my clients get unlimited messaging feedback from me, where I go through their copy, like literally line by line, taking it up a level, showing them how to position themselves with the authority that they need to have for them to be seen as the number one choice, right? So it's not like, yeah, it's very detailed. Like my clients very quickly learn how to write incredible copy themselves through watching me up level the stuff that they're writing. And like I said, I do that through detailed Loom videos, and they get better very, very quickly. And as well as this, we work on building that extremely effective client journey, like we've talked about today, so that you collapse your timeline, the timeline it takes for people to join your highest value offer. People don't need to be hanging out on your socials for months and months and months. Okay, there are people in your audience right now wanting the exact solution that you provide. And then, of course, Powerhouse Portal was originally a mindset and a subconscious capacity container. So all of my genius in this area is still being used inside Powerhouse Portal, right? It's the beauty of hiring a business coach who's incredible at the subconscious capacity piece too. You'll have absolutely no chance of being slowed down by your mindset when you work with me. And my Powerhouse Portal mastermind clients get daily one-to-one coaching. So they get the support that they need when they need it. So you don't have to wait for like a weekly call or anything like that. It's an incredible space, and the level of support and the deliverables that you receive for the investment is amazing. And yeah, it's literally the space that I wish I'd had. I've invested an absolute fortune in my own coaching and growth, and I've created a program here that I wish I'd had, in terms of level of support and like the whole package. So remember, in summary, takes a lot for somebody to reach out and ask for a discovery call with you. So we want to be working harder in terms of our calls to action and our client journey. Just putting DM me mastermind for info in your content is going to have a much lower or much longer timeline to get people to be ready to DM you that keyword than if you have an effective client journey working alongside that amazing messaging that you have. Okay. So yeah, what touch points can you implement today to build the trust and the intimacy faster with your dream clients? So yeah, that is it. If you've enjoyed this episode and you want to book in one of those pitch free sessions that I was talking about earlier, so that we could together pinpoint the exact changes needed either in your messaging or your client journey, or literally anything in your business, click the link in the show notes, and you can book in one of those free 20-minute roadmap to six-figure sessions together. And if you're listening to this and you want to bypass that option because you know that you're ready to join the mastermind, you want exactly the support that I've been sharing in this episode, and you want to chat about that, either if you're watching on Instagram, DM me the word mastermind. But if you're listening on the podcast, you can apply via the link in the show notes too. Or if you're not ready to apply, you just want to have a little conversation about it, you've got any questions, that's totally fine. My DMs are always open and it's always a no pressure conversation. So don't be afraid if you want to ask any questions, anything like that, go ahead. My Instagram is @IamJennaHolloway. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been very fun, and I will be back very soon, I'm sure. I will speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Bigger Than You podcast with your host, Jenna Holloway. If this episode has been valuable to you, please share it with a friend or leave a review.